Okay, hello you guys. I thought I would quickly do this exercise so you can see exactly what I'm talking about when I say to meter from a highlight, a place where light meets dark, and from a dark shadowed area. So in this image, I pulled my blinds, so I had my dog sitting on the couch and the light coming down and hitting his back. So in this one, I metered the highlight. When you meter a highlight, you're gonna get a really dark image because you're telling your camera you have more light than you actually do. And granted, when you spot meter a highlight, or fill your frame with all light area, your camera will think that you have more light than you really do. So let me show you where I metered. I metered right here in the lightest area that I could find in my frame. And these were my settings. I was at 1/1600th of a second, f2.8, because I've got my 2470 on right now, and I was at ISO 200. And so those are the settings that I got when I brought my light meter to 0, when I spot metered in that area. So then I wanted to meter from where light meets dark. And in this image, I metered right, let me grab my pen, I metered right here, where the highlight meets the shadow. So there's definitely a lot of different places I could meter in here. Here's where light meets dark. I would say that this right here would be considered just a mid-tone. You could probably meter that as well, or maybe just meter this mid-tone of my dog's fur right here. So I chose to meter right in here, and anything that's lighter than this area, much lighter than this area, is going to start to get blown out. So now we no longer see the details of what's going on outside, but anything in these tones is going to be exposed correctly how can I say this? If anything that's in these tones is going to be exposed correctly, or the same way that this is exposed. So now we get to see all of the details in my dog. Anything that's lighter starts to get blown out. So we start to lose a little bit of the highlights here on the back of the cushion and on the blankets. So when I did this, I brought my shutter speed all the way down to 1/125th of a second, and I didn't want to go any slower than that just in case he turned his head and it would get blurry. So I bumped my eye in order to keep it at 1/125th of a second. f2.8 is as wide as that's going to go, as much light as my aperture will let in on that lens. I bumped my ISO up to 400. Originally I was at 2, so I just moved it up one stop to 400, one full stop, and let in that much more light. So let me go to the final image where I metered a shadow. And so in this one, I've completely lost all of this highlighted area. I metered this dark area in his eye right here. And luckily, he just stayed looking at me. So I was able to use my spot meter and meter that dark area. Another area that I could have metered was probably down here and get that very same exposure. So when you're metering really fast moving kids, or you've got a kid sitting on the back of this couch moving their arms all over and you can't spot meter them, meter something that's in the same light, a shadow, something like that, or where light meets dark. You don't always have to meter on your subject. So this one was a little bit, I had to add a lot more light in order to get my light meter to come to that middle point. I had to bring my ISO up to 1250 in this one, and I left my shutter speed at 1/125th because I didn't want to go any slower just in case he whipped his head around. And so now you can see anything that's much lighter than these shadows is now completely gone. So I don't have anything outside in those light highlighted tones. And all of these highlights that are on his back are now gone. And all of these highlights that are on the back of the couch are now gone. So what I want you guys to do is just practice this challenge over and over again. You don't have to use a window in your, you don't have to use a window in your practice. This was just a really easy way to get my highlights and use my shadows. But if I eliminated that window altogether. I could use a highlight, a mid-tone, and a shadow, and still make 3 different images. And it may not be my same settings that I have, but I want you guys to know how you guys can fine-tune your exposure quickly and efficiently and make a completely different looking image. So let me know if you have any questions.